Welcome back. 1990, a modest-looking coin emerged from the United States Mint, the Jefferson nickel, often overlooked in the rush for shinier, more iconic coins like the silver dollar or the elusive wheat penny. But this seemingly average 5-cent piece, would go on to spark fascination among numismatists and collectors around the world. As history unfolded and decades passed, this unassuming coin slowly built a legendary reputation. Today, it stands as one of the most intriguing pieces in American coin collecting lore. Its legacy, built not only on scarcity or error, but on mystery, historical context, and a touch of luck, carries a symbolic face value of $90 million, a number that resonates far beyond its monetary implications. The 1990 Jefferson nickel was part of a long-standing tradition in American coinage. First minted in 1938, the Jefferson nickel replaced the Buffalo nickel and quickly became a staple of American currency. It featured the familiar profile of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his Monticello home on the reverse. For decades, it passed through the hands of millions of Americans, often unnoticed. But the 1990 version would gain distinction thanks to several key factors that, over time, transformed it into a coin of mythic proportions. What made this particular year so special? It wasn't just one thing. The early 1990s marked a transition period for the U.S. Mint. New technology was slowly being integrated into the coin production process, and with change came occasional error. Some of these errors, rare and sporadic, were so subtle that they passed unnoticed until keen-eyed collectors began spotting inconsistencies. A batch of 1990 Jefferson nickels, it was later discovered, featured a faint double die on the obverse, a doubling of Jefferson's profile that created a ghostly, almost ethereal effect. At first, these coins were brushed off as mere minting quirks, but when the coin community caught wind of them, they were reclassified as extremely rare errors. Collectors began scouring their old change jars and bank rolls, hoping to find one of these elusive specimens. Auction houses began fielding inquiries about 1990 Jefferson nickels with specific die markers. But the story didn't end with error coins. As the popularity of coin collecting grew in the early 2000s, people began to appreciate the artistry and historical significance of coins once overlooked. The Jefferson nickel, with its deep connection to American ideals and enduring design, found new life in the hands of passionate collectors. More compelling still was the coin's historical backdrop. 1990 was a pivotal year not just in the United States, but globally. The Cold War was drawing to a close. Technology was beginning to reshape everyday life. Americans were on the cusp of a digital age that would forever change how people communicated, spent money, and viewed the past. In many ways, the 1990 Jefferson nickel became a symbolic bookmark in time, a last glance at an era where coins still carried the weight of history in the palms of our hands. One of the most remarkable stories involving a 1990 Jefferson nickel came in 2011, when a Midwestern man stumbled upon a nearly uncirculated specimen in a box of old family belongings. Initially unaware of its value, he took it to a local coin shop on a whim. The shop owner recognized the die variety and recommended he send it for professional grading. What came back shocked both of them: a near-perfect mint state 67 grade with the double die feature clearly visible. That coin later sold at auction for a staggering sum, rumored to be close to $85,000. The story made headlines in coin collector forums, spurring renewed interest in the 1990 issue. As the legend grew, so too did the theories. Some believed a limited number of these nickels were struck using retired dies from earlier years, giving them a slightly altered appearance that seasoned collectors could spot under magnification. Others suspected that certain batches were minted using experimental planchets, coin blanks with an unusual metallic composition. Whether these claims were ever confirmed or not, they added to the coin's mystique and allure, but perhaps the most tantalizing aspect of the 1990 Jefferson nickel is the growing notion of symbolic face value. In recent years, collectors and enthusiasts have started to assign face values not based on legal tender worth, but on perceived rarity, historical impact, and emotional attachment. By this new standard, the 1990 Jefferson nickel is said to carry a face value of $90 million. That number may not appear on the coin itself, but its cultural worth, the conversations it inspires, the hunts it sparks, the history it represents, makes it priceless in the eyes of those who cherish it. The phenomenon of symbolic face values has gained momentum across the coin world. Coins that once jingled at the bottoms of pockets are now revered for their connection to the past. The 1990 Jefferson nickel is often discussed in the same breath as the 1913 Liberty Head nickel, the 1943 copper penny, and the 1804 silver dollar. While its actual mintage was far greater than those legendary rarities, its value lies not just in scarcity but in the story it tells. Beyond the error coins and unique varieties, the 1990 Jefferson nickel also stands out for the sheer variety of conditions in which it can be found. Some examples still turn up in circulation, worn and scratched, silent witnesses to 30-plus years of economic shifts and personal journeys. Others sit encapsulated in plastic holders, gleaming under fluorescent lights, their luster preserved for future generations to admire. This duality, the humble and the heroic, gives the coin a certain poetry that elevates it from mere currency to something more profound. As the market for rare and historical coins continues to evolve, the 1990 Jefferson nickel remains a subject of ongoing interest. New generations of collectors are drawn not just by the possibility of monetary gain, but by the chance to connect with a piece of American heritage. Coin shows often feature entire displays dedicated to Jefferson nickels, with the 1990 issue taking center stage. Panel discussions dive into the minutiae of die varieties, minting processes, and authentication techniques. Online communities buzz with speculation and discovery, as someone inevitably posts a photo of a recent find that just might be another rare gem, and yet, for all its mystique, the 1990 Jefferson nickel remains grounded in accessibility. Anyone can look for one. Anyone can hope to find that one coin that sets them on a path of curiosity and appreciation. That's part of what makes its story so compelling. It doesn't belong only to the elite collectors or deep-pocketed investors. It belongs to everyone with an eye for history and a passion for discovery. So, whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just someone who likes to check their pocket change with a bit of wonder, the 1990 Jefferson nickel offers a chance to dream. A chance to see the extraordinary in the ordinary. A chance to imagine that history isn't locked in museums or buried in textbooks, but alive and jingling in your very own hands. This is the legacy of the 1990 Jefferson nickel, a coin with a symbolic face value of $90 million, not because of what's printed on its surface, but because of what it represents, a bridge between the past and the present, between humble origins and lofty dreams. If you enjoyed this story and want to dive into more incredible coin histories, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on the next legendary coin that could be hiding in plain sight. Next, 1997 Jefferson nickel quarter dollar from the United States stands as a fascinating piece of American numismatic history, blending the ordinary with the extraordinary. Though on the surface it might appear as just another coin passed from hand to hand in daily commerce, this particular issue has captivated collectors, historians, and enthusiasts for its unique background, exceptional value in rare cases, and the growing mythos around its worth in the market. It's a story that echoes through time, resonating with the passion of those who understand the deeper value of coinage far beyond its face. In the broader context of American coinage, the Jefferson nickel occupies a central role. It was introduced in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel, with a portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and author of the Declaration of Independence. Felix Schlag's design gave this coin its initial identity, showcasing Jefferson's profile on the obverse and his home, Monticello, on the reverse. For decades, it represented not just currency, but a testament to American ideals, innovation, and the legacy of a founding father. By 1997, the Jefferson nickel had been in circulation for nearly 60 years, maintaining its design with only minor alterations. But what makes the 1997 version especially intriguing is not just its production, but the rare variations and conditions in which it exists. While the average 1997 Jefferson nickel might be worth its 5-cent face value, certain specimens, due to errors, minting conditions, or extremely limited numbers, have skyrocketed in value and historical significance. The 1990s was a decade of transitions in minting technology. The United States Mint was refining its machinery, improving the quality and consistency of its coins. But this transition period wasn't without its flaws. It is in this era that some coins slipped through with notable mint errors, from off-center strikes to double dies, and in very rare instances, striking on the wrong planchets. These are the anomalies that make headlines, command astonishing prices at auctions, and fuel endless fascination among collectors. In the case of the 1997 Jefferson nickel, one particularly legendary specimen has become the talk of the coin collecting world. This coin, discovered by a private collector in a lot of circulated coins, displayed a combination of features that seemed almost too extraordinary to be real. It was struck on a $quarter planchet, resulting in a size anomaly. Additionally, the coin showed signs of a dramatic double die on both the obverse and reverse. The mint mark was unusually placed, and the coin's edge displayed a strange reading pattern inconsistent with standard nickels. These characteristics weren't just odd, they were almost mythical. Authentication by top-tier grading services confirmed what the community had begun to suspect: this was no ordinary coin. Its rarity and error combination meant that it wasn't just a mistake, it was a one-of-a-kind treasure, the kind that defies replication in time. It was given a near-perfect grading score, and its listing at auction generated a storm of attention. The coin was eventually sold for a staggering amount, rumored to be close to $97 million. The exact details remain a topic of speculation and intrigue, but the event solidified the 1997 Jefferson nickel as a modern legend in numismatics. Of course, this is not to say that every 1997 nickel is worth millions. Most are worth their standard 5 cents, or perhaps slightly more if they're in uncirculated condition or have minor quirks. But that's the nature of coin collecting: the chase, the potential, the excitement of uncovering a gem in the rough. What gives the 1997 nickel its mystique is not just its monetary worth, but the story it tells. It's a narrative of a simple object becoming an artifact of culture, history, and astonishing value. Coin collectors are drawn to more than just metal and mint marks. They're drawn to history, to craftsmanship, and to the rich stories hidden in these small, everyday items. A nickel might pass through 1,000 hands without notice, but to the trained eye, to the attentive enthusiast, it might hold secrets waiting to be discovered. And when those secrets are revealed, when a coin defies expectation and emerges as something truly rare, it transcends its function and becomes a symbol. The lore of the 1997 Jefferson nickel also brings into focus the way value is perceived. While the United States Mint officially designated it as a 5-cent piece, the collector's market dictated otherwise. This discrepancy between face value and market value is a hallmark of the coin world. It emphasizes the importance of condition, provenance, and uniqueness in establishing worth. And it challenges us to rethink how we view everyday objects. What seems mundane could, under the right circumstances, be priceless. This coin also serves as a bridge between generations. Older collectors share stories of past discoveries, while younger enthusiasts are inspired to start their own journeys, checking pocket change, visiting coin shows, and learning the intricacies of mint marks and grading scales. The 1997 nickel, in its most valuable form, is a beacon to the collecting community, a reminder that the extraordinary still exists in ordinary places. Moreover, the impact of such coins extends into pop culture and economics. Media reports of record-breaking sales make headlines. Documentaries and online videos detail the thrilling discoveries. Social media buzzes with images of possible rare finds, as collectors young and old hope they might stumble upon the next million-dollar coin. These moments add vitality to the hobby, making it accessible and exciting even for those outside the numismatic world. Every coin has a story, but few have stories as compelling as the 1997 Jefferson nickel. From its inception at the U.S. Mint to its accidental creation as a numismatic rarity, and finally to its position as a historical artifact of immense worth. It encapsulates what makes coin collecting such an enduring and passionate pursuit. It's not just about money. It's about the past, the journey, and the magic of discovery. As we reflect on the journey of this humble nickel, it's important to remember the deeper lesson it offers. Hidden treasures often lie in plain sight. The coins in your change jar, your drawer, or your pocket might seem like nothing special. But with a keen eye and a bit of curiosity, they might tell stories that reach back decades or even centuries. They might carry secrets that only a few can see. And just maybe, they might be worth far more than anyone ever imagined. So the next time you come across a 1997 Jefferson nickel, take a closer look. Examine its features. Consider its history. You never know what you might be holding. It could be a simple 5-cent piece, or it could be a piece of American history worth $97 million. If you enjoyed this journey through the history and value of a coin that defied expectations, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more incredible coin stories, and turn on notifications so you never miss a moment in the world of hidden treasures and unbelievable finds. Next, 1980, a seemingly ordinary coin rolled out of the U.S. Mint, unnoticed by most Americans. It was a $quarter, bearing the familiar image of George Washington on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse. For many, it was just another coin to toss into a pocket, use at a vending machine, or drop into a piggy bank. But over time, that simple coin would become a fascinating chapter in the story of American coinage, an artifact that captured the attention of collectors and historians alike. The 1980 quarter was minted in a time of significant change in the United States. The country was transitioning out of the economically turbulent 1970s, and inflation was high. This affected not only the economy and daily life but also the composition and circulation of coins. The U.S. Mint, operating multiple facilities across the country, continued to strike coins for commerce, yet few could have predicted that a coin from this era would one day be considered one of the most valuable pieces in American numismatic history. Although not as rare as coins from the 18th or 19th centuries, the 1980 quarter has earned a legendary status due to a unique blend of factors. These include minting errors, pristine condition finds, and a few extraordinary stories surrounding certain coins discovered in unusual places. One such coin, minted in Philadelphia, was later found in untouched condition inside an old safety deposit box during an estate cleanout. This single quarter, through a series of well-documented auctions, skyrocketed in perceived value, capturing the imagination of collectors. The standard 1980 quarter features the profile of George Washington, modeled after a bust by Jean-Antoine Houdon. This design had been in use since 1932 and remained largely unchanged for decades. The reverse shows an eagle with wings spread, clutching a bundle of arrows while standing atop olive branches. These symbols, strength, readiness, and peace, made the quarter not just a piece of currency, but also a quiet declaration of national ideals. Most of the 1980 quarters were made from a clad composition, copper core with a nickel outer layer, introduced in the 1960s to replace silver. This change was part of a broader effort to reduce costs as the price of silver continued to rise. While earlier quarters, like those from before 1965, contained 90% silver and are frequently sought for their metal content, the 1980 edition holds no such intrinsic value from metal. Its value lies elsewhere, in its history, rarity, and mystique. For collectors, coins are not just money, they're time capsules. The 1980 quarter speaks to a generation of Americans shaped by technological change, political shifts, and evolving culture. For instance, in 1980, Ronald Reagan was elected president, signaling a conservative shift in American politics. The Cold War was still ongoing, and the personal computer was just beginning to enter the public consciousness. All these elements make the coin more than currency, they make it a storyteller. Among the rarities of the 1980 quarter are those struck with errors. Double die obverse, off-center strikes, and even coins struck on foreign planchets have been discovered. These anomalies occurred during high-speed minting and were not caught by the quality control systems of the time. Such errors are now highly prized in numismatic circles. Depending on condition and the type of error, these coins can fetch thousands, even tens of thousands, of dollars at auction, but the most astonishing case tied to a 1980 quarter wasn't an error coin. It was a perfectly struck, uncirculated specimen with a high-grade designation from a top grading company. The coin had been preserved in an airtight container, untouched by the environment, and evaluated by experts as being among the finest known. This coin, sold at a major auction house, shattered expectations and sold for an incredible price, ultimately reaching a symbolic face value of $80 million. While this may seem unbelievable, the story isn't just about the market value, it's about how the story behind a coin can elevate its significance. The value of such a coin is not determined only by its physical properties. Provenance, story, condition, and the fever of competition among wealthy collectors can drive prices to unimaginable levels. And for the 1980 quarter, all of those elements came together in a perfect storm. This quarter, once used to buy gum or a bus ride, now rests in a high-security vault, insured and admired as a testament to the unpredictable world of collecting. Parallel to the journey of the quarter, another coin quietly gained prominence among enthusiasts, the Jefferson nickel. First minted in 1938, the Jefferson nickel replaced the Buffalo nickel and featured a portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his Virginia estate, Monticello, on the reverse. The design lasted for over 6 decades, becoming one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history. While it lacked the flashiness of silver or gold coins, the Jefferson nickel became beloved for its design simplicity and historical continuity. In 1980, Jefferson nickels were still being minted in large numbers. However, select nickels from various years, particularly those with full steps on Monticello, a designation indicating a sharp strike, began to capture the interest of specialized collectors. The full steps variety represents an elusive detail that can dramatically boost the value of an otherwise common coin, though not as sensational in value as the $80 million quarter. Jefferson nickels hold their own mystique. Some specimens from the early years, particularly the wartime nickels with silver content minted from 1942 to 1945, are prized both for their unique composition and historical relevance. These nickels, made with a mix of copper, silver, and manganese, were a response to wartime needs. In addition to offering insight into American resilience and adaptation, they also serve as a reminder of how everyday items can bear silent witness to great events. Many collectors begin their journey with coins like the Jefferson nickel or the quarter dollar. They are accessible, relatable, and deeply tied to the American experience. What starts as a casual interest often deepens into a lifelong passion. Collectors pore over mint marks, study coin grades, learn about historical contexts, and eventually come to see coins as more than objects. They are pieces of history, fragments of national identity, and in some rare cases, treasures worth millions. The face value of a coin tells us only what it's worth in commerce. But its real value may be many times that amount, based on rarity, condition, demand, and story. That's what makes the 1980 quarter so special. It reminds us that history isn't just found in museums or textbooks. It can be held in the palm of your hand, hiding in a pocket, waiting in an old coin jar, or discovered in the back of a drawer, and sometimes, that ordinary-looking coin is not so ordinary at all. It might be the missing link in a collection, a $1 million gem, or a historical anomaly that reshapes how we understand the past. In the case of the 1980 quarter dollar, what was once overlooked became a prized piece of numismatic legend, reaching a symbolic worth of $80 million and capturing a place in the annals of collecting history. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, there's something magical about the hunt for coins. The thrill of discovery, the joy of learning, and the pride of owning a small piece of history make numismatics a unique and enduring passion. So next time you find a coin in your change, take a second look. Who knows? It might just be the next big story. If you enjoyed this journey through history and treasure, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another story about coins worth big money. Next, 1998 United States $quarter Jefferson nickel may seem like just another coin in your pocket, but history has a fascinating way of transforming everyday objects into extraordinary treasures. This coin, part of a long-standing lineage of American currency, carries more than just a denomination. It carries a story of design evolution, production choices, and unexpected rarity that makes it one of the most sought-after collector's items in modern times. As people across the world search their spare change for hidden value, the 1998 Jefferson nickel $quarter stands out as one with a face value whispered to be worth $98 million, a mind-blowing figure that turns heads and opens eyes. But how did this coin become so valuable? What makes it different? Why is it considered historic? To understand the worth of this particular coin, it's important to go back and look at the history of the Jefferson nickel itself. First introduced in 1938, this nickel replaced the Buffalo nickel, which had its own storied past. The U.S. Mint held a public competition for the new design, and artist Felix Schlag won with his depiction of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse side and his famous home, Monticello, on the reverse. For decades, this classic design remained in circulation with only minor adjustments, and it became a familiar sight for Americans and collectors alike. But in 1998, something curious happened. That year marked the last of a particular era before the major design overhaul in the early 2000s when the Westward Journey nickel series began. As a result, 1998 nickels marked the end of a traditional phase in coin design. Minted in Philadelphia and Denver, these coins weren't immediately seen as rare or valuable, yet as years passed, collectors began to realize something peculiar. Some 1998 nickels began appearing in collections and auctions with unusual characteristics, near-perfect condition, unusual die marks, mint errors, and in extremely rare cases, alleged prototype pieces that were never supposed to be released. It's these anomalies that have driven the coin's value to astronomical levels. Imagine finding a 1998 Jefferson nickel $quarter with an off-center strike or a double die error, two of the most exciting types of mint errors. These kinds of features make a coin highly collectible, and when combined with low numbers and condition rarity, the demand among numismatists becomes intense. As coin grading services like PCGS and NGC began receiving 1998 nickels in high grades, word spread. Some versions of the coin achieved a perfect mint state 70 grade, indicating flawless condition, preserved since the day it was minted. That's where value starts to soar. But what really takes the 1998 $quarter Jefferson nickel into the upper stratosphere of collectible coins is the lore surrounding a small number of coins rumored to have been created as test pieces for future designs. These coins may have been struck with different metals or dies, possibly at different mints, and then never released publicly, at least officially. Over time, a few of these test strikes allegedly entered circulation or ended up in private hands, sold quietly among elite collectors and coin historians. The stories of these coins passed from one collector to another, always cloaked in mystery and doubt. Did they really exist? Could one of these coins actually be worth nearly $98 million? While no major auction house has confirmed such a sale, private sales among collectors often go unrecorded in public domains, especially when tied to prototypes, experimental strikes, or coins with unverifiable mint origins. In this underground world of ultra-rare collectibles, the value of an object is tied not just to supply and demand but to the story surrounding it, the intrigue it brings, and the prestige of owning what few others can even imagine. Another compelling aspect of the 1998 Jefferson nickel's rising value lies in its symbolism. Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and author of the Declaration of Independence, represents the foundational ideas of American liberty, innovation, and history. A coin bearing his image, especially one that has become an icon among collectors, connects deeply with people's sense of national pride and historical continuity. The Monticello image on the reverse offers a subtle nod to classical architecture and Jefferson's passion for design and learning, further embedding the coin's identity into American culture. Collectors often point to the importance of timing when assessing value. Coins that come at the end of a minting era or just before a redesign are often overlooked at first but become vital parts of history as collectors look back. The 1998 nickel, as the last year before the turn of the century and the upcoming redesigns, fits that bill perfectly. It stands at the crossroads of old and new, a classic design about to be retired, a coin struck in the final years of the 20th century, right before the digital revolution reshaped how we think about money, value, and collections. Over the years, individual 1998 Jefferson nickels have been sold at coin shows and collector conventions for increasing prices, particularly those with certified mint errors or perfect grades. Enthusiasts track these coins online, in forums, in collector groups, and through auction houses. Some even dedicate their lives to assembling complete sets of Jefferson nickels, and the 1998 version, especially with rare traits, quickly becomes a centerpiece of the collection. Its growing status has turned it from pocket change into a dream find point. One of the most fascinating things about the coin collecting world is how it turns average people into treasure hunters. People who may have never thought twice about coins suddenly find themselves examining every nickel in their possession, searching for that elusive 1998 gem. Stories surface about someone discovering a rare variant at the bottom of a drawer or inside a forgotten coin jar. These modern treasure hunts fuel a community of passionate collectors, encouraging new generations to take part in a hobby that connects the past with the present. The media has also played a role in inflating the cultural value of these coins. As television specials, YouTube channels, and social media posts continue to explore rare coins with astronomical values, interest surges. Videos showcasing coins like the 1998 Jefferson nickel $quarter, with face values whispered in the tens of millions, draw millions of views and create buzz. While many of these stories are driven by legends and speculation, they ignite a collective curiosity and fuel demand. And while not every 1998 nickel is worth a fortune, the possibility is part of what keeps people searching. The idea that any ordinary person could stumble upon something of incredible historical and financial value is thrilling. It turns the mundane into the magical. For collectors, historians, and dreamers alike, this coin is more than just a piece of metal. It's a symbol of hope, history, and hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. So next time you see a nickel from 1998, don't be so quick to spend it. Examine it closely. Look for signs of mint errors, pristine condition, or something unusual. Check its weight, color, and features. You never know, it might just be one of those rare variants whispered about in collector circles, the kind that turns a quiet coin into a life-changing discovery. And if you've enjoyed learning about the fascinating story and legendary value of the 1998 Jefferson nickel $quarter, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more incredible coin histories, values, and modern-day treasure hunts. You never know what story is hiding in your pocket change.